All right, so let's talk about the blocks now. So let me reduce all of this. And now let's start with the blocks. So blocks are reusable module as well that can be added, removed, and reordered within a section. So we have three type of blocks in Shopify. So the first one is the blocks within the section. We have the theme blocks and we have the app blocks. Okay, so let's start with the blocks within the section. So blocks are small and repeatable pieces of content inside a Shopify section. So they let you add multiple items like multiple images, text items, or features inside a section or one section. In simple terms, a section is the whole container and blocks are individual items inside it that you can add, move, or reorder. So let me show you an example in my Figma. So if, for example, I come over here, just for you to understand. So this one here, let me grab this one. It's much closer. So this one here, I will add some color so that you can understand. So the first one, I will give it a red color. So this one is a section, all right? And if you want this container to be like more flexible, that's again is going to be depending on how you want to structure your code. So you can say, for example, that you want this block of image, the red is too harsh. Let me add a bit of, yeah, this is our section. And we can say that this one here, this small part here, this component, okay, the image and the text is going to be our block. So I can also go add some color to it so that you make the differences. So let's make it some blue like this. Okay, so this could be our block, and as you can see, it looks exactly the same. It's the same design. We have the image, we have the text below. So we can decide, for example, to have only 2, only 3, even more of that here. So this inside here could be a block. Again, you can also say you want a text to be also a block. Okay, so a block is everything that is inside a container, in this case a section. All right, just for you to know. So let me revert my changes here. All right, so first what we're going to talk about is the blocks within the section. And you got a little bit caution here. All blocks names and types must be unique within the section, and all setting ID must be unique within each block. So we're gonna come about it. We will talk about it very soon. So how a section blocks is created. So blocks are defined inside the section schema as an array object, and each object in this array represents one unique blocks types. Okay, so this is just theory. Let's go into VS Code to see how it's going to work. So now we're talking about blocks within section, and remember we have 3 types of blocks: blocks within the section, theme blocks, and then app blocks. Okay, so make sure that you're running your server. Let me close all of this. Let me reduce this terminal. We will use the first example, the same example we had previously, and then I'm gonna add maybe 1 or 2 example to understand the blocks more deeply. All right, so we are inside our new card here, and we want to create the blocks. So again, I'm running my code here, so everything is running. Okay, so we are here, we have the new card. Okay, it's over here. So let's say we want this card here, and again, it is the same design, to be repeated. Okay, so it is a card image that contains a text, and when you hover, is adding a description text below. All right, so let's make it to be a block and to make it to be dynamic. So I will go back to my VS Code. So you need to add, first of all, the keyword blocks here. And once you do, now you need to specify what you want. The first things that we want in this example is to be able to add this card right here, because this is what is going to be like repeated. Okay, because we want to be able to add more card as possible. In this case, is set to 4, so it could be 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, even more. Depends on how we want to design our UI. So what we want to add is an object that can add this block here. Okay, and inside we're going to have an image, and we're going to have a text and a description. So for that, what I'm going to do, I will go back to my VS Code. I will create an object. So this object is going to represent this block here. Okay, so this object is going to represent this block here. And the inside, we're gonna have the image, the title, and the text. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just to make you understand. And inside this block here, we're going to give it the first property, which is going to be a name. So let's call it card image, and then it's going to take a type. So the type in this case is going to be the same name here. So it's going to be like this in the same word. And then we're going to give it a settings, and we can also give it a limit. The limit is going to be how many times you want this block to be appearing here. So here it is set to 4, so we can limit it to 4 so that we don't go beyond 4. Okay, and we can leave it like this. Again, depends on how you're going to create your UI. So I will make limit to 4 here, and inside the settings now is going to be just like we done earlier here. So we want to have a possibility to add an image and to add the text here and this description. So let's go create these settings. So here I'm gonna add a type of image picker. That's again coming from Shopify. I will give it an ID. So let's say we're gonna call it card image, and the label, we can say add your image, and we can give it some information if you want to. And I think we can stop for now for this first object inside the settings key. And then we need to add the title. So again, we're gonna give it in this time type of text, and the ID, let's call it card heading, and let's give it a label, let's say heading card, and we can give it some default here, and it could be, let's say, card heading text. And in the case you're wondering how I know all of these things, if you go back to your Shopify.dev, you go to create a theme using Liquid. Anyway, I have a course in my YouTube channel about it. And if you come to settings over here and you click on input settings, you're going to have all of these settings over here. So I just used the image picker, so over here. So it's gonna show you how is it working. And I used many times on the video, like earlier, I used the text. So the text is somewhere here. Okay, and now I'm going to use the text area, or the rich text, or the inline rich text. We have one here and the other one is somewhere here. So feel free to come and to double check the documentation. You're gonna have all the answer over there. All right, so let's create now the settings for the description. So let's call it inline rich text. I will give it an ID of card description, and I will give it a label. Let's say description card, and we can stop right here. All right, so if I go back to my Shopify editor now and we refresh, you're gonna see that we're gonna have this little odd card image here. This is the name we gave to our blocks here for the first object, because remember, you can add up to 50 blocks inside this blocks array. All right, so this is the first object, which is going to be the first block. If you want to have many, you can add it here. I'm going to have more example, at least 1 or 2 examples to show you how is it going to work. But let's work from this simple one now so that you understand what's going on. So if I click now on add card image, now we're going to have the settings here. So I can add an image, just like you see here. I don't have any image here, so let me use 3 images. So I can add some image here. Okay, I can select it. Image is right there. I can add a text. I can add a description, and I can save it. But as you can see, it's not appearing here. All right, so now we need to find a way to access it. So how to do that? So if we go back to our VS Code, or I can even show you the code again, the documentation. So if you come back here, you go to blocks and you click on section blocks, and here they show you how to render the block. Okay, so to render a block, you need to first of all access it to be sure that it exists, and if it exists, you have to loop using the case, and when you loop, you need to access the block.type because the block.type is going to be unique. You can also use the block.id as says here, but it's not recommended because in a case the ID change, you're going to be running in some error. So you need to always use the block.type to access one of the object. All right, so we're going to use the when for that. So let me go back to VS Code. We're going to do that. So I will show you step by step. So I'm going to open this section right here, and let me reduce this H2, reduce this H3. And what we're going to look, again, remember this card here looks the same. So it is repeating itself, okay? But this is just hard coded. So we need to make it to be dynamic. So how we're gonna do, we need to remove 3 of them and just leave 1. And then from this 1, we're gonna be adding dynamic value from Shopify editor. So what I'm going to do now, I will come here and I will look for the similar card. You know, it is similar actually. So we have the D card, we got a D card over here, so it looks like it's similar. So I'm gonna reduce the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. But before to remove it, I will first of all write a condition. So I'm gonna say if, because I want to know if this card here, it is added or not. If it's not added, it's going to be false. So I want to verify that. You can go directly with the for loop if you want to. Me, I prefer to go this way. So I will check if section. So I'm accessing the section. And again, I want to access the blocks. So I'm accessing the section and I want to access the blocks here. So I want to know if the user adds the blocks or not. Okay, but before to even do that, let me show you something.